Hello, I'm Shannon for Waffle Flower Crafts, and I'm here at Scrapbook.com sharing with you guys how to create this really fun trio of cards using some new products from Waffle Flower's new release. To start, we're going to grab some colored cardstock. I've already trimmed the cardstock down to an A2 size, so it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have 3 shades of color here, a green, a purple, and a pink. And we're going to add a stitched border to this panel. We're going to use Waffle Flower's A2 Nesting Rectangles 1 die. I'm just going to use the largest die from this set. Grab my cardstock here, line it up so the edges are lined up with the die. Use a little purple tape to hold it in place, and run it through the die cutting machine. This die will add a beautiful stitched border to the edges of my panel. This is just a nice little detail I like to add on my panels. I'm going to repeat this process for the other 2 colors. Now that we've added this stitched border to our panels, we're ready to stamp our tone-on-tone background. I'm just going to grab the cards here so you can see. I love this tone-on-tone look. It's a really subtle look that doesn't take away from your focal images. I love this stamp set, this Gym Rat stamp set. There's a lot of little stamps that you can use to create your tone-on-tone backgrounds. I'm going to start with the pink panel, and I'm going to use the triangles for this background. Pull off the stamps here. Just pick them up with my acrylic block. And I'm going to stamp these images in Distress ink. I'm going to use worn lipstick because this is a similar tone to this pink panel. Clean my stamps off, and then pick up the ink. And I'm going to stamp all over this panel to have a full background of these little triangles. Now we have our background totally stamped. We're now going to move on to one of the other colored panels. For the green panel, we're going to use the triangles again, as well as this little zigzag. I just love these little stamps in this set. You can create these really fun 80s kind of themed backgrounds. This set was inspired by Sunshine, one of our co-workers at Waffle Flower. She had this really brilliant idea to make a exercise themed set, and I thought it would be so fun if it was kind of 80s themed, almost like little jazzercise hamsters, or you can even have your little hamsters stepping up and down on these step platforms. There's really a lot of fun scenes you can create with this stamp set. Let's move on to the background now. I've got my stamps mounted on my acrylic block. I'm going to use Distress Ink Cracked Pistachio. This is a very similar color to the green here. So I'll have that tone-on-tone look. I'll pull all 3 backgrounds so you can see how beautiful those stamp, that tone-on-tone, and what a great 80s feel we have with these background panels. Okay, so now we're ready to stamp our images. I have a piece of watercolor paper here. Watercolor paper has 2 sides, a textured side and a smooth side. We are going to stamp on the smooth side. This will make sure that our image is stamped nice and clean and crisp. I'm going to use archival ink today. This is a waterproof ink. That's because we're going to watercolor our images with Distress ink. Let's grab the Gym Rat stamp set here and pull off some hamsters from this set. There are so many hamsters in this set. You get 6, and they are all doing different poses. Again, you can really create some fun scenes with this cute Gym Rat set. I pulled off 4 hamsters, and I'm going to stamp 2 at a time. Just mount them on my acrylic block, clean off the stamps with the palm of my hand. This removes any lint that might be on the surface and also primes the surface of the stamp for your ink. Stamp them down on the smooth side of the watercolor paper. And now we're ready for their next little hamsters. I'm going to stamp these two little hamsters at the same time. Pick them up. Ink them up with the archival ink. Now that we have all the hamsters stamped, we're going to stamp a couple more images. We're going to stamp the step and the boombox, of course, because these hamsters are going to be in a little step aerobics class, so they need music. We'll use the archival ink again, stamp that down. Now I'm going to stamp the step 3 more times. 1 for each of the hamsters. Okay, so we're ready to watercolor. We're going to use Distress inks to do our watercoloring today, and we're going to smush them out on our palette. I'm going to start with pink. This is worn lipstick and cracked pistachio, just smushing it right down onto the palette, and shaded lilac. We're going to use these 3 colors for their little jumpsuits, their little leotards. I'm going to take some water and spray it down onto my palette. We need the water to add liquid to the ink so we can move it over the surface of the paper. I'm going to dip my brush into the water, go directly to the ink. You can see how that water makes that ink liquid. Picking it up with my brush, and I'm going to start to color in these little leotards. We're ready to die cut these. I've got the matching dies here. I'm just going to line them up. You want to make sure though that your watercolor is nice and dry before you try to die cut it. Make sure there's no little white openings. And then use a piece of purple tape to hold it in place. Okay, I have all my dies in place. I'm going to put my top plate on and run it through my die cutting machine. Remove the tape here. And we have this perfectly cut out hamster. I'll remove the tape off of all these other die cuts, and we'll then die cut the step 3 more times. Okay, with our images die cut, we're finally ready to assemble our card. I'm first going to fold the card base. Going to grab our tone-on-tone stamped background and adhere it to the card front with a tape runner. Before I adhere any of the hamsters, I'm going to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to grab the Gym Rat stamp set here, and I'm going to use the We Don't Sweat, We Shine. Just super cute with these little exercising hamsters. Pick it up with my acrylic block. Clean the stamp. And I'll stamp the sentiment in the lower right. Now we are going to stick down our hamsters with foam tape. Okay, now I'm ready to stick the hamsters down. I'm going to flip them over here and arrange them. Peel off the backing on the foam tape and just stick these down. Now we're going to glue the steps right underneath their feet with a little bit of liquid adhesive. Now we got the steps all in place. The last thing we have to do is add our little boom box. Remove the backing on the foam tape. And we'll stick that right above the sentiment here. And that completes our card. I really love this new gym rat set. There's so many different scenes you can create, like this one, with the tone on tone, but the hamsters in the wheel. You can even stack up the hamsters. This works really well with this "you lift me up" sentiment. There is even a little dumbbell in the set. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card with our tone on tone backgrounds using the new gym rat set. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!